Welcome back to Swish Happens. I'm Aiden.
I'm Dylan.
So the Thunder came to town. You were at the game.
Monday night.
Yep. How was it?
It was electric. Okay, so I don't care that Embiid wasn't playing, or Paul George wasn't playing, or Maxey wasn't playing. I don't care because you know what? I got to see our guys. Last time I saw our guys was Game 5 of the Finals, so it was a nice reunion.
Of course.
There was 6 dudes in double figures.
Yep.
I mean, in all seriousness, there was a game the Thunder were supposed to win by 20. They did, but some interesting stuff. So Doug comes back.
Yeah.
He looked like he was definitely getting his feet under him off rip, I would say. Trying to get to the cup as usual. A couple bad reads, a couple turnovers to guys that weren't there. So we're just trying to shake the rust off a little bit. But then when the Sixers were honestly, kind of pushing, led by VJ with 35, it was actually dubbed down the stretch with, just typical north-south, tough-ass layups and ones that kind of put him away. So that was a takeaway for me. Another one was how much we really use Hartenstein as an offensive connector. And I think if you look at the Thunder's trends in the last 15-20 games, offensively it's been kind of down. But I mean I think that it's because AJ Mitchell's been out. You had Dub out. But I think watching them all together, it showed that Hartenstein he shouldn't be your second or third primary offensive initiator. Yeah. But if he can be your fourth or your fifth and be a screener, can be a guy that plays at the nail, the give and go kind of guy. He's really a versatile big, and I think that that was something that weirdly enough that stuck out to me how effective he was in his minutes.
I've always liked him. I thought he was such a good pickup. I mean, he was a big piece on the Knicks
100%.
When he was there, and he's our only real true big.
Yes.
But the fact that he can be a connector for us is so great.
100%.
I've always liked him, and it is always nice to see a fully healthy roster.
Yes.
Haven't got to really see it. Yeah, almost. We haven't really got to see it this year. But hopefully by the playoffs we should all be good, which we will be.
100%. I mean, I think that the only thing that has been nice is that Jay Will has really stepped up.
Yes.
I mean, from it's finally down a little bit, but there was a trend where he was almost at 20, 21 points a game.
Yeah.
Even on Monday night, he had, I think he was 4 for 6 from 3.
Yeah.
When it was Chet and Jay Will, it was Jay Will that was really doing the more interior, enforcer stuff. I mean, obviously not the rim protection.
Yeah.
But in terms of the rebounding, in terms of the disrupting on the glass, it was a guy like Jay Will who I think has been able to get a little more burn this year after being hurt himself actually in the beginning. Yeah. I think it's been even though we haven't been able to see the roster together to your point. Yeah. I think it has allowed some of these guys in these weird patchwork minutes to kind of get their own. I'm hoping as long as we can get the minutes right, I mean everyone will kind of be on fire on all cylinders in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not nice to see our guys hurt, but I think it's great when our role players get to just turn up. 100%. You'll see Aaron Wiggins putting up 20 plus. I mean Isaiah Joe was going crazy for a little bit.
Yes.
But Jay Will, he'd be having triple doubles when he's got to be the guy. 100%. I think it's fun to see that happen. But they play their roles when they need to.
For sure, and then a little Jared McCain was nice.
Yeah.
It felt like it was going to go in a crazy way at first because he had
2 back-to-back threes.
Yeah, and they were tough shots too. Like on the first one, he was on the run, took a crazy sidestep fader, and the second from Jay Will was that pass through the legs.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of crazy because everyone hates the Thunder. I mean, we're in Philly.
Yeah.
There was more Thunder jerseys than I expected, but there were some loud boos. Unless it was Jared McCain.
Yeah,
it was Jared McCain. Every single person in the arena, Thunder fan or Sixers fan, just wanted to see that dude hoop. Mm-hmm. So to see him get those 2 threes and really get a bunch of love was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And sweeter as a Thunder fan because he's in our jersey.
Yeah.
So
I still can't believe they gave him up.
Crazy dude. Yeah, that was kind of the murmur of the Sixers fans around me was that why'd we trade him? Yeah. But all in all, it was a good game. It was a good game. Love seeing the Thunder. I'm thinking about getting back out there this playoffs too.
Yeah.
So
that'd be awesome.
Exactly. But good game.
Yep. Recent news, I think you guys have seen, Luka Doncic has been going insane. In the month of March, he's averaging 36.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 7.5 assists. And in the last 10 games, he's had 30 plus. And that's including a 44-point game, a 51-point game, a 60-point game, another 40-point game. I mean, he's been going crazy, and most importantly, the Lakers are 11-2 in March.
They've been on absolute heat. I mean, I think one of the cool things about that 60-point game against Miami was that That was on the back of that was on the heels of a back-to-back. I was listening to a pod today, and like they got into town at like 5 a.m. On that same day, and then on the back-to-back, everyone's questionable. Everyone, including Bron, plays, and Luka drops 60. You know, and like these wins have been against the Nuggets. They beat the Rockets twice in a row. You know, the Heat and Magic, who we'll talk about them later. We're vying for a playoff spot, or vying for a higher playoff spot. You know, the Knicks. So like they've really knocked off some higher caliber teams. You know, and I mean, we'll talk about trends in a bit, but in terms of the teams that have been on fire, the Lakers have played one of the tougher schedules out of those.
Yeah, so. And their losses were last night or the other night to the Pistons. It was only a 3-point loss, and then the Nuggets. Yeah, those are 2 losses.
100%, been absolutely firing, and I mean, in a Western Conference where things are tighter than I think anyone expected here. I think that this Lakers team, I don't think that they're getting that 2 spot with the Spurs. I don't think they can, but I think they're starting to slowly build, which to me is a really surprising lead on Denver. Which I think they could be slotted in that 3 spot rather than that 4 spot. I'd rather face the Rockets and the Timberwolves any day of the week, which looks like it's how it's gonna probably shake out here. Yeah. So I mean, these are important wins, and it's not like Luka's just beating bad teams. Like he's winning when he needs it in like really pivotal games.
I mean, that's the thing about this Lakers team, and that's like been kind of the talk since the beginning of the year. Their ceiling is high, but their floor is low.
100%.
Like when they're playing good, you see where it's at. But earlier this season, they weren't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it takes Luka averaging 30, I don't know how sustainable it is, but
I agree.
I guess we'll see. But about this 30-point streak, so this is 10 games, which puts him at. I was kind of interested. I was like, what are the longest 30-point game streaks? I mean, we've seen the 21 get broken.
Sure.
But this puts him at 28th all time, which I thought was crazy. I was like, wow, that's that many people. And it's 28th with a lot of ties above him, because from 10th to 14th is like from 20th to 11th. 28th to 11th.
I got you. So it's not like he has to do it 27 more times.
No, he's 5 away from being 11th, tied at 11th. Or no, 5 away from being 11th, and 6 away from being tied 8th.
Okay.
And I've got some numbers here. Wilt Chamberlain is also obviously on this list more than anybody else. 13 times.
That's so crazy.
The next highest is 5. Who do you think is the next highest?
There's 30-point games in a row.
Yes. Most streaks. And the lowest would be 9 on this list.
My first reaction is Harden or Westbrook. Am I hot or cold? Am I warm at all?
You're kind of warm. I thought Harden first, but it's not Harden.
How about Melo?
This will surprise you. No.
Okay, is he in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Is he playing now?
Yes.
Donovan Mitchell?
No.
Jamal Murray?
Nope.
Bro.
It is Luka Doncic.
Wait, what?
Yeah. 5 times he's on this list.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of insane.
It's I didn't know that, but I mean, he's the other people on this list. So here we go. There's everybody that's been on here multiple times. Wilt 13 times.
Sure.
And he's got the most with a 65 game streak.
Insane. First of all.
Luka with 5, and then the next tied with 3 is Elgin Baylor, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Oscar Robertson, Nate Archibald.
That's an insane group to be.
And then tied with 2 is James Harden, Kevin Durant, Jerry West, Rick Barry, Joel Embiid, and George Gervin. But if we take Wilt off, the second longest streak would be James Harden with 32, which is insane. The next highest, not counting Wilt Chamberlain, would be Joel Embiid with 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
But then it goes Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, and then it would be Kobe Bryant with 16.
Okay.
So that 22 and 32 is crazy.
Yeah, that list overall is ridiculous. Like the names and the amount of time they were doing that for.
I know. But damn. Do you think Luka will get up there? I wonder how long he'll go.
So I mean, their strength of schedule is I think 27th in the league for the rest of the way. I mean, and even coming up, they have some favorable matchups. I mean, they have Pacers, they have Nets, they have the Wizards the next 3 games. But they do go Cavs Thunder after that, Dallas and Thunder again, and then Warriors Suns, and then Jazz. So I mean, outside of both those Thunder games, I mean, like pretty favorable matchups. And I mean, even against the Thunder, I mean, like it's like even I love Thunder to death, but like he's been on such a heater. I don't know how much is gonna matter. You know, I think. I think it'd be crazy if you can get at the end of the season, because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There'd be 10 more
10
games. So what that would
put them up at 6th. That would put him right behind Joel Embiid at 22, and he's in 5th.
Insane. And then
I think with stuff like this, you just got to take Wilt Chamberlain off the list.
Yeah.
So then that would put him at 3rd. James Harden, Joel Embiid, and then Luka.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, like from a personal and historic standpoint, that'd be crazy. But then for the Lakers themselves too. I mean, if they can, keep winning, because it felt like like you've been saying, like the scoring and the winning have gone hand in hand.
Yeah,
they could really go with some pretty crazy momentum. And I mean, like I think to your point, the conversation or really the flaws are still the same as they've always been.
Yeah.
But I think if they can if they can make enough plays, if they can just lean into what they're good at enough.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? If this guy's going to be doing this, we'll see how far he can take him.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty crazy, though. In the last 15 games, also some other wild trends. So, I mean, there's one player I want to talk about that will kind of segue into the team. So, Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been on a heater. 22 a game. This is in his last 15 games. 22 a game, shooting 50, 50, 90.
Yeah.
The Hawks are 9-1 in their last 10 and 13-2 in their last 15. I thought this Hawks team post deadline. I mean, it's not like Trey was playing anyways, but it felt like they were going to maybe just kind of mail it in.
Yeah.
And maybe jockey for some draft position, see what happens there. But they've been very good.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm interested. Like, do you think this is going to last? I mean, they're out of the play-in now. Do you think that they end the season with a secured playoff spot, or are they going to have to earn it in the play-in tourney? Do you think?
If I had to guess, this Eastern thing, which I want to get into like more in depth
for sure,
a little bit
for sure
after, but I think out of these teams, I think their only fight with that playoff spot would, in my opinion, would be the Magic.
Okay.
I think the Raptors, I think they'll secure a playoff spot, but I do think the Hawks will be the team battling with either the Magic, maybe even the Hornets.
I think the Hornets would be my pick.
Yeah.
The Hornets, they've been. I think they're in the last 15 games. They're right behind the Hawks. I think they're 13. Yeah, no, they have the same record. No, I'm sorry. 1 game behind the Hawks, 12-3 in their last 15. 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
At the moment, like in wins, they have like the highest point differential ever. Like this Hornets team is playing. I think it's been better and better by the month. I thought we talked about this in the beginning of January, or right before the All-Star break. It was a good start to the year, but I feel like we were both kind of maybe they'll cool off. They just haven't.
No.
So I think that Hornets team is pushing for that spot. I think if I was a betting man, I would say the Hawks drop out and are in the play-in, and the Hornets get to 6. I think.
But we could just get into it. So
let's do it. Yeah.
From 5 to 10 is 2.5 games. I mean, we've talked about this little race for that playoff spot for a while now, but it's 2.5 games. So the Raptors are in 5th, 40 and 31, and then the Heat are at 10th with 38 and 34, but they're tied with the Magic, Hornets, and Heat. They're all 38 and 34. So this race, it's very important though, because all of those teams need that playoff spot.
100%.
None of them are comfortable in the play-ins. I think all of those teams could beat each other on a good day.
Agree.
But the trends are crazy. Like the Magic and Heat, they go on 10-game winning streaks.
At the same time.
At the same exact time, and then at the same exact time, they go on 5 and 6-game losing streaks. The Heat have lost 5 straight, and the Magic have lost 6 straight.
Crazy.
I just don't know how you go from that high to that low.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there have been some injury issues there, but there's been injury issues there all year.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why we were, especially with the Heat, kind of commending the Heat for just doing their Heat thing and guys stepping up. But yeah, it's been interesting. And then, that group of, Toronto, Philly, of Miami and Orlando are all 7-8 or 8-7 in their last 15 games.
Yeah.
And then while you look at Atlanta and Charlotte are 12-3 and 13-2. I mean, it's crazy because when we were talking about pod prep, I brought up the idea of maybe doing like a meaningless games MVP.
Yeah.
But I mean, these aren't meaningless games.
Yeah.
These are real games with implications for how this season ends. So I mean, It's pretty crazy. I mean, like, I feel like I'm never tired of talking about this race. We've talked about it all year because it's been so interesting. And I think even though that there's no chance of these teams getting up to fourth to beat the Cavs or dropping out behind the Bucks, it's still so compelling to see how all these teams, all these different rosters, and all these different, to be honest, future implications for next year, how they kind of end up,
For sure, and that playoff spot is so important. For all these teams.
100%. So I'll put you on the spot here. So out of that group, I'm going to take out the two teams that have been playing well.
All right.
But out of that group of Toronto, of Philly, of Orlando, and of the Heat, rank those 1 to 4 in not likelihood of getting that playing spot, so not likelihood of getting the playing spot but more the way that they're going to go into the playoffs. Like, which team would you be more scared to play in order out of those 4?
Okay, of Toronto, the Sixers, the Magic, and the Heat?
Yes. Hard to guess with the injuries, but just, put you on the spot.
I'll go 1, the Magic, because their potential, like, when they're playing good, like, when they were on that 10-game winning streak, they looked like everybody was playing, not at their peak, but almost there.
Yeah.
So I think they're the scariest. 2, I would go the Raptors because they've been stealing games all year.
True.
And then 3, I'd go the Sixers because that healthy Sixers team with Maxey doing what he's been doing this year is pretty scary. And then 10, I'll put the Heat, or 4, I'd put the Heat.
Yeah.
I mean, they could win games. I just don't think they have the upside or the ceiling that these other 3 teams do.
I like that. I think I would do a little bit of finagling. 10 would definitely be the Heat for me, or the 4th team would be the Heat. Because I think, to your point, I think their ceiling is just bar none the lowest, which is unfortunate. But after that, it's tough. I think
it's tough.
I think I'm gonna jump back up to 1. I think Sixers on my 1. I think Paul George coming. I think actually he comes back today.
I have. They're coming back. What's going on with the Sixers?
Okay, so I'll hold some of that stuff for now. So I'm going to go Sixers 1. I'm sure I'm going to agree with a lot of stuff that you're going to say. And then that 2 spot is tough between the Raptors and the Magic because in the vacuum of this year, it's been the Raptors.
Yeah.
But if you take the years before this into account and, when we've seen Paolo and Franz at their best and when Suggs plays, I think they would be hard-pressed not even to be the 1. But I think because of this year, because there's still kind of no timetable for Franz, I'm going to slide the Magic down to the 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have the Raptors at 2.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's going to be a hot race here. There's only 10 games remaining, pretty much. So we'll kind of see what happens there.
But so for the Sixers, which this next 2 weeks or so is crucial. So they have PG coming back tonight. Embiid is questionable tonight, but if he's not back tonight, he'll be back within the next coming games.
Yeah.
And so Kelly Oubre gets reevaluated this week.
Okay.
And Maxey gets reevaluated next week.
Yep.
Obviously, you want all those guys back as soon as possible, but Maxey is the biggest wild card because that reevaluation isn't like he's coming back probably. It's literally saying when is he coming back, like sure.
Could be another 2-week reevaluation.
Yes,
you don't
which
know.
would be terrible for them.
100%.
But I mean, we saw the Sixers early this year. I mean, all throughout the year when they're healthy, they play very well, which was surprising to me. I didn't think they were going to be that good healthy. But what do you think? Like, where do you think they fall with these injuries? Guys coming back, maybe not.
See, I like this Sixers team. I think that it's kind of along the same vein, obviously not on the caliber of play that we were talking about the Thunder, of that, obviously there's been a lot of injuries, but it's allowed these guys to kind of, come in and get a lot of burn. I mean, especially in the last couple of weeks, you have, a guy like Jabari Walker's been playing well. You have, guys like, Cam Payne have been playing, like, really well, lights out some nights. So, I mean, if they can, I mean, it's down to Maxey and Embiid, obviously, for sure. If you can get Oubre back, even better. I mean, if you can get some of these other guys back, even better. Yeah. But I mean, I think that just to have trusted bodies alone is going to mean something. Trendon Watford, another guy that I mean, I'm not saying these guys are going to come in and put up 20-point games in the playoffs or lead these teams or lead the Sixers to a series win. But I mean, if you want to come out and play competitive basketball, you need to have in the playoff what we've seen 7 to 8 guys that can get out there and play real minutes, not play, against the Pistons on a random January night. Like this is game 3 coming back to our place. It's 2-0. If we want to change in the series, we need one of you guys to really step up. You know. So yeah, I mean, I think that with everyone healthy, I think they could actually beat. This is gonna be a little crazy. I think they could beat anybody in the East. I mean, I think that we've talked about the Pistons a bunch, and Boston's been good, and the Knicks are on this winning streak or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that at peak of powers, which we've seen each of these guys, singularly, Maxey, even Paul George for a second, Embiid, play fantastic this year. Even VJ, if they can get everyone back at the same time and playing well at the same time, I do think they could shock some teams still.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get duped by Joel Embiid again, but I'm not gonna say that they can't do that kind of thing. I don't know. Is that how you feel too?
Yeah, my guess for them, I do think like all of them healthy, they can beat a lot of teams. They can definitely steal some games here. I think they can ride Embiid. I think they wait on Maxey. I think Max will be back play-ins or playoffs, but I don't think there's at any point. So I just looked at their schedule. They play the Bulls and then the Hornets and the Heat, which are 2 battles for spots, literally.
Yeah, for sure.
But then they have the Wizards, and then they have a tough stretch with the Timberwolves, Pistons, Spurs, Rockets. I think they need to steal 2 of those.
Well, we'll see what's happening with the Cade and the Ant injury. So because those feel like tough games strength schedule wise, could be a little bit lower tier of the team they're facing.
For sure, but I don't think they'll rush Maxey back because their last 2 games are the Pacers Bucks.
For sure.
So I don't think there's a point. I think obviously they know they can lean on Embiid. It just depends on the health factor. I think PG, I don't know if it was what he was taking, but hopefully he can get back to that. But he was playing really well. Quentin Grimes can step up. Like you said, all these guys can step up. I think if you have Embiid as that centerpiece, I think they could win a lot of these games and not have to force Maxey back.
I agree.
Until the playoffs.
100%. I mean, like if they can, if they can just get in the dance, man. I just don't see why. I think Detroit matches up really well with them. But if they can somehow scoop the 7, if it's Boston, if it's New York, if Cleveland can somehow climb, I think the Sixers' ceilings are maybe not higher than Boston's. No, I'm going to say it. I think their ceiling is higher than Boston when everyone's healthy right now. I still
think so, even with Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yes, because this could turn into a Celtics conversation. I think that this year their ceiling is still not full. But I know Tatum's come back, no minutes restriction. Like it was really cool to see him do it, and he's been playing. Yeah. He's playing well, but I still think that's going to mean something in terms of just ceiling. I think in terms of probability and odds and who I think would win a series, it's going to be Boston majority of the time. But I think in terms of when those teams are at their best, just this year, I think it's the Sixers still, which is probably a hot take. But
I think the Boston ceiling is high here. I think with this Cade injury, which we get into right after this, I think the Celtics can sneak into the finals the way that these East teams have been looking.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
With Vucevic up and running, I think that team is very dangerous.
Yeah, the ton of versatility. Vucevic and Cade have just been kind of playing just like yin and yang. Like the other is strong with at one. His counterpart is not, which has been nice. Again, in terms of who I think would, and in terms of who is more likely, the Celtics are, more than anybody, almost. Yeah. It's probably them and Detroit. I think the East is going to be more interesting than people think. I know you got Pistons stuff. I think with the Knicks, I mentioned I have a Knicks buddy in my life that is always in my ear, just nagging about the Knicks. Those last 7 wins have been, there was some Pacers in there were some Wizards in there. I think it's been a little bit overblown. Wins count as wins, and they're tied with Boston right now. But I think in terms of who I'd rather have, or who I think is more favored going into the playoffs, I don't know what the Knicks could do to overtake the Celtics in my brain now. I'm
not really too high on the Knicks anymore. I was very much earlier in the season, but then they've kind of just disappointed me.
Agreed.
Also the Sixers, I'm negative towards the Sixers.
I get it.
Because I have a lot of Sixers fans, obviously, in the area. But no. But all of these teams, 5 through 10, are basically locks for the play-ins.
Yes.
It's like one more game they have to win each, and they're locked in the play-ins. So they don't have to worry about not being in at all.
For sure.
It's just how good can they get.
Yeah, no, I agree. You had some Cade, some Detroit?
So Cade Cunningham, collapsed lung, which is so sad to see.
Yeah.
They as a whole have been playing amazing, and Cade Cunningham himself has been playing amazing. He was averaging about 25 points, 5.5 rebounds, 9.9 assists. Just give him the double-double.
Yeah.
On 46.1% from the field. Obviously, the Pistons have been in first all year, and he's basically a lock for All-NBA team, first or second, probably second. I don't know if he'd get in over the guy. Actually, it's not even positioned anymore, so
Could have
been, yeah.
I think he'd be one.
Yeah.
I would say one, but
Yeah, but now this got the NBA PA pushing to get rid of that 65-game rule, because this is actually sickening. If I was Cade, Cade played 60 eligible games, because that 61st that's when he got hurt. He was out for he was only in for 5 minutes. And there is a rule where if you played at least 62 games and then you had a season-ending injury, but you played 85% of the team's game before the injury, you can still qualify for an award. But he's at 60.
Oh, but that would have to be season-ending, right? So
Yes.
you probably wouldn't be able to.
And you have to play 20 minutes for it to be an eligible game.
That's crazy, actually.
I know.
Dude, and I have the list up now of guys, with in danger of missing the 65 games. So you have Cade's got to play 5 of the next 11.
Yeah.
Maxi's got to play 4 of the next 10. Luka's got to play, 5 of the next 10. Shea 5 of the next 10. Jokic has to play 8 of the next 9 games in order to get in.
Yeah.
Wemby's got to play 8 of the next 10. It's like a lot of these guys are that should make these teams gonna be razor close. Kawhi needs to play 9 of the next 10. And I mean, if you really list off these guys, Maxey, Cade, Luka, Shea. Ant's on here, Jokic, Wemby, Kawhi. Those are
the best guys in the league.
Those are 9 guys that would have been maybe not 9 out of 10, but 9 out of 15.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost 30. That's almost 2/3 of the All NBA pool.
Yeah.
You just ripped out, and then even a guy like Denny Avdia could have been sniffing that, or like Cooper Flagg, who should probably gonna be the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He needs to play 5 of the next 10. Like. If you took all these guys off the list, it would be like an asterisk on this on this season in the history of the league.
Yeah, it is crazy. I think we've talked about this before about how they should lower it, how they should change it, if they should get rid of it. I do think there is a lot of tweaking that Adam Silver's going to have to do.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, it was kind of a trial and error, and it's been a big error so far.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. Can they change it I don't think they could do that.
They couldn't this year.
No.
They would have to take it on the chin, and almost in a weird way. If it pushes them towards changing the rule, then I hope a couple of these guys do miss it. Which sucks, and it's selfish to say, and obviously I'm not in their shoes, but I think that for the good of the future of the league, and these awards that I think we all really value pretty highly. We're talking about legacy and all time, and we love doing that stuff. If that's going to be affected by a rule, then that's a disservice to the league and the fans and the players by the league. You know what I'm saying? So I think we'll see changes
For sure.
It's crazy with the games rule, with the gambling, and with the tanking. I feel like this has been a real. People have went from loving Silver to really putting him.
He's been in the hot seat.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's not like his job is on the hot seat, but his legacy. But that being said, his job's on the hot seat now.
No.
But these are not 1, not 2, but 3 defining issues.
Yeah,
so
huge.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But speaking of awards, somebody just came out talking about MVP Victor Wembanyama, begging to be MVP basically.
Pretty corny.
Yeah, I hate that. If you have to pitch yourself to be MVP, you should know you're not the MVP.
Yeah, exactly. And I think everyone loves him for saying, or for being honest and saying, the things that he wants and this and that. But I think that this was too much. All the other guys say, I'm in it for the bigger goal. I'm in it for the championship. But even when guys want the MVP, there's just things that you say.
Yeah.
I think this is the one time where I'm like, okay, dude,
So this is
listen to the PR team.
This is exactly what he said. He goes, when he was reasoning, he gave 3 reasons why he should be the MVP. He goes, my first one would be that defense is 50% of the game, and that it's undervalued so far in the MVP race. I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Okay, that's why you're going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Second argument would be that we almost swept OKC in the season, and we dominated them 3 times with their real team. And he goes, the one was with whatever.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter. You guys are still second, and the Thunder are still first. My third argument would be that offense impact is not just points. Okay, fair. But I don't understand. None of those came out and jumped to be, oh, why you should be the MVP.
Yeah.
Your first one was literally your argument why you should win Defensive Player of the Year, not MVP. And you're acting like SGA is like a terrible defender. He doesn't even give effort on defense. So this is their stats lined up. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 24.3 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3 assists on 50.4% from the field, 35% from the three-point line, 3 blocks and 1 steal. And the Spurs are 54-18, second in the West. SGA is averaging 31.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 55.5% from the field, 38.8% from the three-point line, 0.8 blocks, and 1.4 steals. The Thunder are 57-15 and first in the West and first in the NBA.
Yeah, I just don't like. I think he's going to be on All-NBA first team if he qualifies.
Yeah.
Even if everyone was healthy, he'd be on first team All-NBA. I think he is. You can make an argument that he is number 3 in the MVP race, and I think that this dude is going to get some hardware in his career.
Yeah.
This is not an indictment on Wemby, but I think right now he's definitely got to take a step back, look at the efficiency of SGA, look at how Luka is willing his team to wins when on that one side of the ball that he talked about, they're horrific.
Yeah.
And I think that he's right. I mean, I'm not saying he's not making good points about, it's not just scoring this and that. But I mean, like, it's just tough for me to sit here when you have, 3 guards on your team that are playing fantastic, playing pretty much all, above what we thought they were in Fox and Harper and Castle. They've all either made leaps or played way better than we thought.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's taking away from Wemby. I'm just saying that when you're splitting hairs at the top of the MVP race, I think you got to put this all in context.
Yeah.
And even more so, I think, we talked a million times about how the MVP is like a narrative-based award, and like a lot of it is, about, not who makes the best case, but I mean, I think the things that are said off the court affect the race.
Yeah.
And I just think this is going to reflect poorly.
I think so as well. I just don't think it's the time for that.
No.
And I don't think it's necessary. Like, just let your game do the talking. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't think there's many people that I can't think off the top of my head that have came out and said this is why I should win MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if there was a more compelling argument, and if you've played in a playoff game, I think I would be a little more like, I don't know, like I get he's hungry, but like let's give me a little something in some more games that matter.
Yeah.
And that, like I need you to I need him to prove it, not because he's played poorly in any big moments. It's that we just need to see more from him. Like, it's a little early on in year 3 to be saying I should be this, I should be that. So
I agree.
I mean, that being said, I don't want to see the Spurs in the playoffs. I will say that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think anybody does. I think there's honestly, I don't know if there's one team in the West that you can look at and be like, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I agree.
Besides the bottom half of the like Suns, Clippers, Blazers, Warriors, but even like the Clippers, kind of like they could steal some games from you.
100%.
But I don't think out of the Thunder, Spurs, Lakers, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Rockets, I don't think you go into any of those series comfortable.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I think that maybe some of those teams match up with others better, but like I agree. I think
they all have star power.
Yes.
They all have proven things.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
No. Listen, I'm right there with you. I mean, like this Western Conference playoff is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I mean, even with the Suns. I know Dylan Brooks probably out for the year, but I mean, teams 1 through 8 are just going to be tough outs.
Yeah.
I think especially when we hit round 2. I mean, round 1, just how the seeding is, we're going to get some great series there.
Yeah.
But every single series for round 2 in the Western Conference Finals are going to be, between teams that are at the top 6 of the league, in my opinion, just how the numbers work out.
Luckily for us, we will fall at 1, and the Spurs will fall at 2. I mean, even if they catch us, I don't think that's happening. But
agree.
From the Spurs to Lakers, which is 2 to 3, is an 8-game difference. I don't see the Lakers winning 10 straight and the Spurs losing.
Yeah, I agree.
So we will fall on the opposite sides. We won't meet until the semifinals if we meet.
Yes.
I'm not trying to act scared. I think we'll win any series we play in.
Just probability-wise, I don't want to see those guys.
Yeah. So that's good for us.
I would love if Denver could just get to 3. If Denver gets to 3, then we're good. Because then we don't have to see only one of those teams. But if we get to the Western Conference Final,
the Nuggets and Spurs. I said this from the beginning, especially the Nuggets. I think those are my 2 least favorite teams that I would want to play.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Denver. I think I was pretty critical of Denver a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they still can't shake this injury bug. That they still have guys in and out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that big Serbian is so damn good at basketball. Yeah. These role guys are starting to step up. Like when Peyton Watson's healthy, we've seen him be a star. Christian Brown is starting to finally get the gears turning. Still waiting on Cam Johnson, but I just think even in a Denver Spurs series, I think I'm edging Denver there. Just because of the Jokic-Wemby matchup, I would shade Jokic still for now, which I could be swayed on.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. If it ended today, our playoff, if we were to go to the finals, would look like we play the Clippers first round, which we seen what they took the Nuggets to 7 last year in the first round. And then we would play the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets would be the Timberwolves.
Yep.
So that would be Clippers, Nuggets, and then say the Spurs come out of the other side. That would be the Clippers, Nuggets, Spurs. It'd be like the finals would be like a cakewalk compared to what we just played.
Give me Detroit. Yeah. Give me the Eastern Conference All-Star team over that gauntlet of a path.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Oh.
And then we'd still get hate.
Yeah.
We'd still get hated on.
Of course. No. If we went through that and won the chip, no one can touch me. No one can talk to me about their teams or who's better. Wemby's on the. I don't care. Yeah. But this would be, I think, the greatest playoff run we've ever seen. Yeah. If it went like you just said, like in that way, and the Thunder took it home. Yeah, I'd be losing more hair than I'm already losing. Yeah. It would be a stressful month, dude.
For sure. But yeah, that 3-6 is 2.5 games only. That Lakers to Rockets, so that's going to fall. I don't even know how it's going to come up to these next 10 games.
What's the strength of schedule? So Rockets and Lakers are both last. Are both 6 of the easiest schedules. Clippers about middle of the pack. Let's see. Yeah, everyone else is more middle of the pack. Minnesota, Denver are all just kind of a couple tougher games, a couple easier games down the line. I mean, we'll see what happens with Ant. I mean, I think that could actually help the Thunder out in terms of if the T-Wolves could somehow drop. I don't think the numbers work out. I was gonna say I want to see the Timberwolves again, basically, because they're the easiest out of the top 6. Yeah. But I think we're gonna get stuck with.
We're gonna get somebody. We're gonna get somebody we don't.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm not worried. I'll take this over anybody.
Yeah. Do you have any other news? Anything you want to talk about?
Nothing. No. Would love to talk some March Madness.
Yeah, for sure. I just had one thing about Bam and the Heat, but I don't think it's anything. I think it's a bunch of overreaction. Him and Eric Spoelstra kind of got into it.
Oh, for
the Spurs game.
Yeah.
I think it was just a fiery player, fiery coach. Like they're just getting at each other.
It's not the first time we've seen Spoelstra and Heat player here. A little bit of a tiff.
But yeah, Bam did say, he said, you've seen what I've been doing the last however many games. I don't want to be in the play-in. Some of that is, he's got to protect me from myself, but I don't want to be in the effing play-in. So every game I'm going out there to do the best I can to carry this team and force a way out of that. I mean, he's been having somebody bad language, but this has just been like a cycle for the Heat.
Sure.
Of their star players, being kind of sick of being mediocre, trying to get guys in, or I'm leaving. I just think it's a weird thing the Heat always have, but they're still always right there. I just think it's weird.
And I think it's I'm not taking credit away from the players, but I think when you have a coach like Spoelstra, I think I don't care about the numbers in terms of what he's gotten out of guys on the court as a top 5 to 6 coach of all time.
Yeah.
That Heat culture, that special sauce, no one can get a handle on what it is or what they're doing, but they always get the best out of their guys. Yeah. So I mean, I think that even is true for a guy like that. You know what's annoying about that Bam comment is that before he scored 82, he was having a pretty down offensive season. Yeah. So for him to puff his chest a little bit is kind of crazy to me. Yeah. And he even said something after Luka put up 60. He was yeah, that was impressive. Like, now he knows how hard it is to score 80. Like, all right. Like, let's not do that.
And I've seen him. He was asked about, is it tough playing like somebody like Wemby? Like, have you never seen anybody like that? And he was like, no, we've had Boban in the league. We've had Bol.
Dude.
Like, come on, dude.
Don't do all that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, if he starts doing that, then I'll flip my tune and I'll be like, get this dude the hell out of here. Oh, man.
But yeah, now let's get into March Madness. It's been a good year. There's been many Cinderella runs that people like to see, but I just think that's the new shape of college basketball. I think it's going to be like that, kind of.
I agree. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I agree.
Who do you have winning? Who's in the final?
So, I'm Michigan-Houston. You Michigan Houston?
Exactly.
Dude, I just think that Houston's going to get their get back. I think that, to talk about great coaches, Sampson is an all-time.
Yes.
Yes. I think Michigan has just been almost end-to-end, and I'm a Duke fan, Michigan end-to-end from the beginning of the year to even now.
Yeah.
I just think that they've been the best team in the country.
Yeah.
They have a couple guys that we'll probably end up talking about in a couple minutes here. I think Lenenberg is the best player in the country, personally. I think they have good experience, they have good youth, they have good coaching, they've performed in a good conference. I think that, and they're my winner too.
Yeah, same for me. I have Michigan, Houston, Michigan winning. I'm also a Michigan fan.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So a little biased, but at the same time, I think they are the best all-around team in the country. I mean, a lot of people have Arizona. I will give Arizona this. They are 31-2. They've won a lot of big games versus ranked opponents, especially being in the Big 12. They've won a lot of those games. Their loss was to Kansas, and the other one is, I'm losing the other one here. But I am kind of scared of them, but I think Michigan would take them. But yeah, Houston, I just think they're so experienced. I think they're hungry, and defensively and offensively, I think they'll beat pretty much anybody. And they can they'll be right there if they don't win it.
100%. I mean, talking about Michigan, so I mean, they have two guys that I was really looking at. I mean, obviously, like Lenborg, I mean, he's 24, but he's kind of a do-it-all. He can rebound, he can play make, super skilled. I mean,
like a great role player in the NBA.
Is he a lottery guy, I think, or do you think because of his age?
I think because of his age, he'll fall to mid first, like late first. I think whoever gets him is going to be happy with what they get. I think it'll be more of a winning team, and he'll be a great role player. Like you said, he can do it all.
I agree. I think he could come in for a team like I'm trying to think of someone that could really use him. It's funny. He played for the Thunder, maybe. Yeah. He played for the Thunder. I mean, a team like the Lakers. I mean, I think like he could come in and play for a contending team and be in the rotation like immediately. I think he's actually
like T-Wolves.
He'd be a great fit on the T-Wolves, 100%. On a team, on the Sixers, honestly. I mean, he'd probably play for a team like the Sixers. I mean, like, I'd probably throw him in over a Jabari Walker in terms of, some ceiling stuff. I mean, so yeah, I think he's an interesting prospect. How about Mara, their center?
Yeah, I think he would be great. I don't like him as much as Morris Johnson, though.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Okay, make the case though. Make the case. I think it's close.
I just think Morris Johnson is way more impactful on both sides. I mean, Mara has the size, and he's also very smart. But Morris Johnson just plays with a higher effort than Mara. I think he's stronger, and Morris Johnson, he can even space the floor a little bit.
Definitely more skilled.
Yeah,
100% more skilled.
But I mean, that would be my case. Like, it's literally just that. I just think it's the strength, a little bit of athleticism, and the spacing. I just think it gives you more as a player.
100%. I mean, I think with Morris there, I think he falls into that Lenborg camp where like I can see him going a little bit later and playing minutes actually for a team where I think Morris is more of a project. Like maybe like end of the lottery. And especially now we've seen guys. I think of a guy like Donovan Clingan, who was not a 3-shooter in college, or everyone wants to do Brook Lopez, but I mean all these big men that came in. It used to be into the league, but I mean even into college with not great shooting splits or even tendencies to shoot.
Yeah.
In the NBA now, it's almost like a prerequisite that they're going to get you to a place where you're going to shoot a spot up three. Yeah. So I think in years past where I've been kind of off guys that can't shoot, I think if you can bring physical tools to the table and then even a semblance of a chance to be able to shoot threes, I think there's potential there at least. So I think it's a fit thing there. But I like depending on the team, I could see either of those Michigan guys going.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, who else do you like? I know you've been doing all your college stuff this year.
Player-wise, this class is so loaded. I don't even know if people understand it. There is so much potential. I'm not saying like every single person in this class is going to come out and be amazing because obviously that never happens.
Sure.
But I think there's a lot of players that if they get developed correctly can be very good players. I mean, obviously the top 5 is just insane with AJ, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, Kingston Flemings, and then Darius Acuff has hopped in here. Cameron Boozer.
I was gonna say.
I was like, wait, I'm missing the one. Yes, Cameron Boozer. But I honestly like to look outside of them because I think a lot of people we know what they're getting. I mean, Darren Peterson probably looks one of the most NBA-ready prospects we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the cramping is an issue, but I think they can fix that in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy he's giving you like 20 points in 20 minutes in college, and it looks effortless to him. AJ is also another NBA-ready player. Like, he gets to his spots, his footwork is great. His only negative is just the three-point shot, which I think that he can get developed. Like, it's not like he's terrible.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I really like Mikal Brown Jr.
Okay, Louisville guy.
Louisville point guard. He's 6'5". He's dealt with some injuries, but I think he is your perfect modern NBA point guard.
Yeah.
He has the size, he has athleticism, and he can shoot from anywhere. He's one of the best shooters in this class, I think.
100%. Yeah.
I could go down the list. But then we have LeBaron Fallon. He's a guy that like scores at will. He's a good feel for the game. He's patient. He's calm. I remember watching his preseason games, and I was like, I don't want to say this out loud, but he kind of looked like SGA a little bit. I don't think that's his player comparison now. He's looked a little bit different. But I say this has been my favorite all year. Sorry, I'm just yapping about this.
No, this is your wheelhouse.
Yeah. Cameron Carr is probably my favorite prospect in this draft. Baylor, I wish I could have seen them in March Madness. They underperformed largely this year.
Yep, okay.
But
I watched none of it. I don't know anything about it. So school me here.
Dude, he's 6'5". He's a wing, 6'5" wing, but with a 7-foot plus wingspan. They say 7'2" wingspan.
Jesus.
This guy can shoot from anywhere, and he plays with confidence. And he also has one of the best shots, I think, in the country. This guy, he plays above the rim defensively, offensively. Like, he is just a guy, I kind of compare him to, like, Aaron Wiggins. Like, he's kind of like a microwave. Like, he'll just come in, he'll get you buckets easily. And also on the defensive end, I mean, with that 7-foot wingspan, he's a threat. And he's athletic.
Yeah, only a sophomore, too?
Yes. And there's a spot where he was averaging, like, 22 a game. He's down to, what, like 19, 20?
Yeah. 19 a game, 5.5 boards, 3 assists.
Yeah. I mean, what's he shooting from the field? For the three-point line.
Let's see. He's shooting 40% from 3 this year.
Yeah, like he's a great player.
Okay.
I think whoever takes him is going to get a gem. I think if I had to pick somebody that's going to go late first round that is going to like pop out maybe first year, second year, I think he would be my take.
Okay. So I think I have 2 picks for that kind of spot. So this one dude, and I did just see him in person, so I'm a little biased. Alex Wilkins from Furman was absolutely. He was insane.
Yeah.
We had I met a buddy there. I went to March Madness. First we watched UCLA UCF, which was a good game.
Yeah.
And then watched UConn Furman. I got a couple of UConn fans in my life that said, "Hey, look out for Furman to keep it close." Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that. Especially coming from a UConn fan, I believe that.
Yeah.
Met up with a buddy before the game started. He's this really niche, like he loves mid-major basketball, and like he's been to all all these Middle Tennessees, and like he goes and watches mid-major basketball, and he said Alex Wilkins is going to be the best player on the floor, and they're playing UConn, a number 2, and then he had 13 of their first 14 points.
Crazy,
dude, pulling up from like 6 steps behind the line, throwing those insane like Luka-esque drive on the right side, one hand skip to the left corner passes, like no look, like left hand pass under the cup. If this guy doesn't transfer to a Power 4 school for, I mean, probably an NIL stuff, $10 million. If he's not at Kentucky next year, I can see him going late first and being like a really, really interesting prospect. And the other guy is a guy I actually just found in the tournament this year. Alan Graves from Santa Clara.
Okay.
So, stretch big, like 6'10". What was interesting was he wasn't super fast, but like he reminded me of the way Cam Boozer plays a little bit, just like a watered down version.
Yeah.
Big man, skilled, shooting 40% from three. Did a little analytic stuff. He's like a 13 plus 13 box plus minus. Again, 6'10", 225. Can shoot, can drive a little bit, can pass the ball around. Again, he's a freshman, so I mean, I think that the one silver lining of this NIL stuff is that guys like this would definitely go into the league. Where at least now, even if they're not staying with their school that they're recruited by initially, maybe we do some of these guys, see these guys level up to another spot. But again, Alex Wilkins from Furman and Alan Gray from Santa Clara were two dudes that, if they wanted to commit to the draft, could be some guys that we say, oh wait, how do these guys go so late?
Yeah, for sure.
So.
It's definitely those mid-major guys that people get overlooked, because even a lot of most of mine are all big schools. Like I got another Baylor guy, Tunde Yesufu.
You mentioned early on in the year.
Actually. I did. He was a lot higher.
So he cooled off a bit.
He was a lot higher. Yes, he definitely cooled off.
Okay.
I just think his potential is insane with his build. He's like 6'5", 210, super strong, super athletic, plays with high effort, like. Defensively, he can score. He just needs to develop some like intangibles, like the basketball IQ and just like a little bit of the feel of the game.
Sure.
He's actually a draft assistant. I don't know if he's staying or going. I think he would. I think he should go, but he could also stay and be a star next year.
Only a freshman,
Yeah. Also, Dalen Swain from Texas, which they're making a little run here.
Yeah.
Sweet 16. Since I found him, I was high on him. I think he'll be great in the NBA. 3-and-D, athletic, versatile. He can score. He just needs to develop a more consistent shot from deep.
Yeah.
Second round guy, Dash Daniels.
Okay.
Literally, it's Dyson Daniels' little brother.
Yeah.
They play basically exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah. He's 6'6". He's playing in Australia right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he'll be as good as Dyson.
Yeah.
But I think just the potential in a second round guy like that.
How big is he? Like is he like same size as like 6'7",
6'6".
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That's huge.
And I got some edge guys. These are like late second round to undrafted guys. There's Sergio Delario. He's a guy playing in Spain. He's 6'6" point guard. Kind of just like a playmaking guard. I think he'll be a good guy. Especially that he's playing overseas, like he's playing professional basketball. I think he can come in with some experience.
Sure.
Maybe get some time in the G League. Oscar Wembenyama's down there, Victor's younger brother.
I did not know his brother was that old.
Yeah, he's 6'8". He's not really he's not super good right now. That's why he's like all the way down to late. He might even go undrafted. So I can see the Spurs picking him up.
So is he the next Alex Antetokounmpo?
No, I think he has a lot more potential. He's kind of a little bit Wemby play style is just like way watered down.
Sure.
And he's only 6'8", but still he's
for
still
now.
healthy. Yeah.
For Victor might be growing now still.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Otega Owa, which we've seen his shot versus Santa Clara. I think he'll be good. I think he'd probably a G League guy, get picked up sometimes, but I think he could give you good minutes. 2A, athletic, strong, and he's shooting really well this year, which has surprised me from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Alex Caravan from UConn, lights out, 6'8". He's a smart guy. Kind of like a stretch,
dude. He's a guy that can do it all. Yeah. That has been a winner. That is he was on 2 championship teams. Yeah. I think he could 100% be a guy that goes second round and be a rotation guy like immediately.
For sure. But that's I mean, there's a million guys, but those are just some of the guys I'll highlight. Obviously, like I said, the top of the list. I think most of those. I think AJ and Darren Pearson are almost locks to be stars.
Yeah.
Depending on injury stuff, obviously, but.
I'm just looking through the latest mock on Bleacher Report because I look through mocks all the time for because I'm a Duke fan.
Yeah. Oh, Isaiah Evans.
Isaiah Evans has been fire.
Yeah.
I know he's not been fire. Actually, he's pissed me off as a dude.
Yeah.
But there's a potential. He 100%.
Yeah.
He's got all the skills.
I think
That's why it's annoying.
I think he's a guy like I would see as a contender. If I was a contender, I would love to pick him up.
He'd be end of the first, top of the second steal.
Yeah.
100%. But like ACC Player of the Year, Malik Brown is the best defender in college basketball.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially after watching a lot more during the conference tournaments. I watched a ton of Duke this year, so I'm going to say I'm being biased. I'm 100% biased. I won't say that I'm not. But I mean, he looks like an NBA ready defender that can guard 1 through 4, maybe 1 through 5. And I just think he's a guy that. I think, especially in today's day and age, where if you're drafted and you go into the G League, that's not like the end of your career.
No.
Like we see guys all the time get out. I could see him being a guy that I don't really care where he's drafted, but if he ends up on a G League team and 2-3 years down the line, you're like, oh my God, wait, that's Malik Brown from Duke. He's like the second guy off the bench, which other people don't care about, but like I love that kind of stuff. You know,
I honestly like if you're drafting like late first round, second round, I think the easiest way to go is draft a specialist.
Sure.
Like
100%.
Draft a sharpshooter, draft a lockdown. Like just draft a specialist. You know what they're good at. Like obviously a lot of people, everybody wants to take that project, but it's like those rarely pan out.
I mean, it's a gamble. It's a literal gamble. It's probability is way lower. I mean, your reward's way higher.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree. I mean, like you're at risk of wasting a spot on one of those guys where you could get a Caravan or one of these guys that could play in your rotation way quicker than one of these guys, or maybe more than some of these other projects ever will.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with you.
There's one guy. I forgot we have another little thing to do. There's one guy I think is going to tear up the G League for a while. I don't know if he'll ever get like serious NBA minutes, but he'll probably go undrafted and get picked up in the G League. Jacoby Gillespie, he was at Maryland last year. He's at Tennessee now. I think he's a guy that'll just like tear up the G League. He'd score well. He's super smart. Like the way he plays the pick and roll, I was like, I'm surprised this guy's not like on the point guard big board, but I think he'll go undrafted and play in the G League.
Fair. So I know we have something for the end. Well, maybe we do like 3 guys that we thought were going to pan out in the league that didn't.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. I don't think he's got to be top 3, but 3 guys that you remember being like, oh, like this. I had a lot of stock in this guy and didn't end up like that.
For sure, yeah. In light of these prospects we're talking about, I have 3. There's 3 like good ones that I was really high on. I was like, these guys are gonna be so good, and 2 of them are Duke guys.
Really?
2 of them are Duke guys.
Yo, could I guess? Actually?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Wendell Moore.
No.
AJ Griffin.
No.
Older.
Younger.
More recent.
They're kind of more recent, like late 2010s.
Okay, late 2010s. Interesting. Justice Winslow. I love Justice Winslow.
I thought he had all the tools to be an NBA wing, like a great NBA wing.
I think he'd play now.
Yeah.
I think he was in a weird spot in the league where, like, his 3 shooting was so bad.
Yeah.
And I think that it was weird putting the ball in his hands a lot, but I think he was a way better creator than people gave him credit for.
That's why he like the playmaking, the defense, athleticism.
Justice Winslow, bro, champion.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw him. I saw that team play at Syracuse.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was, I had a Big Ja jersey.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna say I thought Big Ja was gonna be a star, but that's as a Duke fan, one of my favorite Duke players. I mean, him and Tyus Jones both actually, and that whole team.
Yeah, I like that team too. I like Tyus Jones. I like Trey Jones.
Yeah.
I always like those point guards, just pure playmakers. Like
100%, dude. The stuff that Tyus Jones did at the end of that game at North Carolina is etched in my memory for all time.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But okay, so Justice Winslow, who else you got?
Cam Reddish was my biggest.
You did say this.
Cam Reddish was my biggest. Like the most I was ever on a prospect was Cam Reddish. I was like, yo, this guy is so good. He's so smooth.
Yep.
He has every tool you need on offense.
And defense too.
And defense. I mean, you've seen it like on the Lakers. He kind of just turned into a 3-and-D guy, which is why Duke ruined him.
Okay,
Duke
make the case.
I think Duke ruined him. He should have went somewhere where he was the number 1.
Okay, that's fair.
Because that's what his play style was. That's what his skill set was. When he went to Duke, he turned into more of a 3-and-D, more of just like a space. Get your shots up. I mean, he got some of his isolation points, but like it wasn't like if he went somewhere else where he was the pure number 1. Yeah. Because you were playing with RJ, which he had the ball more than Cam did.
He had the ball more than he should have. As a Duke fan, in my opinion.
Yeah, And then obviously Zion, which I mean Zion was a freak.
Oh yeah, I mean Zion, but I get you for his own development.
Yes, I think he should have went somewhere. Still a big school because he was a top. Those were all top 5. Were they not the top 3? Or they were top 5.
I think Cam Reddish ended as the 1.
Yeah,
and on a couple lists, Zion was 7, and like he was like Cam Reddish was definitively above these other guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm with you. Like there was some before the year where that year Duke did this like hard knocks kind of thing, and it was a highly touted class.
Yeah.
And they followed the guys around, and you got some kind of all access looks. And I remember there was I'm honestly kind of surprised that they put this on there, but like it was Kay because he was still there. Kind of breaking it down about Cam Reddish and talking with Cam about confidence and connecting with his teammates more. And I think Reddish it seemed like maybe a more reserved guy, but then it came off even at the time as like a lack of confidence. And I think what we've seen over the years here, I think it is a lack of confidence in a lot of ways because of how the Hawks kind of give up on him and how at Duke, to your point, he could have been just as good, maybe even more effective than those other 2 guys, which is crazy to say now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, dude. What could have been?
I just thought he was so good.
Oh, like he really. This sounds crazy. He could have been like the quality of player that Dub is now.
I think so as well. I mean, like, and he had such a fun game to watch. Like,
yeah.
So if you watch his high school tape, he was just a monster.
Oh, dude, he was like Paul George-ish a little bit. Like he had a bag.
That was literally his player comp, like coming out with Paul George.
Which I hate player comps, but like in terms of the quality that he was, I think he actually did earn that.
Yeah.
2 Duke guys. That hurts my heart, but I totally agree with you. All right, who else you got?
Oh, this guy, I thought it was perfect timing. He's a great player. I don't know what happened. Marvin Bagley.
Oh, Marvin Bagley.
And this was right at the time that like stretch bigs were becoming big. Like I thought he was going to be so good, but he just wasn't.
He was the Aiden class and the Luka class, right?
Yeah,
he was. Oh my God!
I forget.
He was.
Yeah,
bro. And when DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Luka, who got traded,
I had all
Jaren
Duke
Jackson,
guys.
and
I had
Trae
all
Young.
Duke guys.
That's all Duke
guys. Yeah,
I get it.
I didn't even realize. I was like, what? All Duke guys. Wow, that's crazy.
No, those are all good too. Okay, so I'll run quick through mine. So my first is Jared Culver at Texas Tech.
Okay.
Jared Culver was like very similar how I saw Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
Like he was just like unbelievable 3-point shooter, like great bag work, like your prototypical NBA wing, lanky 6'8".
He came in with DeAndre Hunter, and they were kind of like.
I think so.
They were like both very similar. I thought they would both have like the same trajectories, but
and then it just didn't work out. Like I don't know what happened, it didn't work out. Okay, so my next one I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and he wasn't an NBA player or wasn't a college player. I thought Dante Exum was taking the league by storm.
Yeah.
I thought Dante Exum was like the best version of like Dyson Daniels on D, and then like Michael Carter-Williams on offense. Like the tape coming from Australia was like out of absolute control.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was just gonna be really, really solid. And then a third guy. Let me think of a third guy. Okay, this is going back a little more. Shabazz Muhammad from UCLA. Shabazz Muhammad I thought was just like a lights out scorer. Like knowing what I know now, I see why it didn't work out because the athleticism, he didn't really play defense, and he was like kind of like even now would be like a tweener, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But I just thought he was an absolute bucket, and I thought he was just going to be just absolutely elite coming out, and it just didn't work out.
And then I got to throw my guy Trey Burke in there. He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be Steph Curry, man.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair.
He was supposed to be Steph Curry.
Same vein, Shabazz Napier. I thought like now I don't trust LeBron with anything like that, but like it was Bron that made the Heat draft him. Like, we need this guy, and I was like, oh, it's Bron. Like he knows what he's talking about. Did not end up like that whatsoever. Oh man.
Yeah.
I did think Buddy Hield was going to be more than he is. I thought Buddy Hield was going to be more than just a 3-point shooter. Yeah, I was wrong about that. Because he was player of the year and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was going to be something, but.
And Buddy Hield.
Oh man. Yeah, dude, good like March Madness runs and like good college players that didn't work out. Okay, one more honorable mention just because he was from the town next to me. Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer put up his high school career high at my high school. He put up 71.
That's crazy.
He's from Glens Falls. I'm from South Glens Falls. Okay. So yeah, him and then more recently Joe Girard both gave us real buckets at high school.
Yeah. I watched Joe Girard play down like by my hometown. We had a summer there's a court, Cedar Beach.
Yep.
That he played. He played my brother actually. It was crazy. Like, and I don't even think he was really trying that much. He was outdoor.
Sure.
Like, he put up a calm 40, but there was actually somebody on my brother's team that put up 41.
Really?
Yeah, and I think my brother's team won. I don't know, but it was just like he crossed half court and you had to guard him. Like,
Dude, it was crazy. He was like that from 8th grade on.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I mean, his first varsity game was opening night at our place in 8th. He was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we were juniors. And I came off the bench, so like we're sitting there on tip off. And it's like me and my two best friends sitting next to me. And Joe Girard's getting guarded by, at the time Joe Girard's like under 6 foot. He's like 5'10", like smaller. Guarded by our best player who was like a 6'4" wing, but athletic. And Joe Girard, I remember it like it was yesterday. He goes like double tween, switches legs, in and out step back 3 cash from like 4 steps on the line. He was probably 12 years old.
Yeah,
I remember just looking at my boys and being like, all right, it's gonna be a long game. We did win that game though. We blocked him at the buzzer.
There you go. That's all that matters.
Yup, took home that dub. I think I had 1 mid-range jumper in that game, so I did my part. Damn, man. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of college coming up, so maybe we'll have some more talk about how these top prospects do towards the end here, and then playoffs are very close.
Sure.
It'll almost be time to reevaluate our preseason standing predictions.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't looked. I think we all had our wins and our losses on there.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be a good mix.
I know mine was the Magic.
I think. I forget. I had the Blazers at 10. I think they're actually going to end there, which I thought was my wild one.
Yeah.
No. I had the Wizards high in the East. I had the Wizards at 9 or 10. So I was a little wrong there. Man.
But let's throw a random hooper out there.
Let's do it. Do you have anyone?
Yeah, I have one. I actually had one pre-thought of, which is a little breaking the rules, but I had one pre-thought of because I thought of this name and I was like, wow, that's a name I haven't heard of until he was like kind of in the draft and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good. He's at 3-and-D wing. Admiral Schofield.
From Tennessee?
I think, yeah.
Yo, you know what's funny? I'm thinking of a guy that's also Tennessee. So that would actually be perfect. Admiral Schofield. Yeah, I think he was a fucking a Tennessee Bull.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Okay, listen, mine was Marshawn Brooks, who I think was also a Tennessee Bull. So, dude, it's just some SEC guys too.
There you go. But, all right. Thank you guys for watching.
Swish Happens.